Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Thoughts of Rambling Mind. Okay, I just wanted to talk about another couple topics that just ran across my head. You know, me, the random mind that I have, a lot of things across my head. And the word today that I'd like to give you a definition of would be racism. All right, now I'm going to go over a few things. A couple random thoughts, not necessarily my opinions, but they are thoughts that have entered my mind at one point or the other, and I tend not to like to disregard my thoughts. I tend to like to bounce them off of people. So I'm going to bounce them off of you guys, and hopefully I can get some response, some feedback. All right? Racism is a noun. It's the belief that all members of each race possesses characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races. Okay. Racism is simply the belief that each race has its own specific characteristics. Now, in looking into these characteristics, you use these characteristics in order to rate the races in an order of your personal preference or your personal beliefs. Okay? Is racism wrong? Let me make an announcement to all the real racists in the world. No, racism is not wrong. There is nothing wrong with believing that your race is better than another. As a matter of fact, that is the premise for all isms. Okay? If you believe something is better than another, that's your opinion and you have a right to it. Just as I have my opinions and my rights to them. I would never want someone to infringe on my ability or my belief that my race is better than others, and I would never infringe upon someone else's belief that their race is better than others. Okay? That's a fact. And that goes for racism, patriotism, whatever it is, ism that applies to your life. You know, if you believe your country is better than others, so be it. The issue becomes when you become to commit crimes based on these beliefs. Crimes like assault and murder, you know, or going to war based on these beliefs. So to go to war because you believe your country is better than another country is absolutely wrong. And to hang a man because you believe your race is better than others is absolutely wrong. Or to go beat up on some white boys because you think your race is better than theirs is absolutely wrong. You know, that is not racism. That is action. That is a crime. You know, and those things need to be dealt with accordingly. You know, race crimes, race-motivated crimes are committed, but race crimes are not. Okay, there's no way to commit a racism crime. Okay, that makes absolutely no sense. Okay. That being said, racial motivation is definitely a part of our society. I'm not going to go too deep into how our society has put into place certain organizations to reinforce their racial agenda. But the question is our society racist? And or are the people of America racist? And to answer that question, I'd like to, you know, just bounce a few things across to you guys and ask you some questions. All right? Is our society racist? Meaning, is our government racist? Do we have racist policies? Are things put in place to make sure that certain races have more privilege than others? Yes. There's no easy way around it. There's no way to butter it up. There's no way to smooth it over. Yes. Our society, our government, our policies, our laws are either directly racist or racially enforced. And it's done blanketly across the board throughout the United States. So therefore, it has to be a systematic problem. And when I say across the board, I mean through all levels of law enforcement, through all levels of the justice system. There's definitely a racially motivated manner of handling each situation that occurs. So racism is definitely a systematic problem in the United States of America. But is it a problem on a public level? And my belief is actually no. I actually believe the people of America, for the most part, are not racist. I believe that Americans in general, and when I say racist, I mean racist in a negative manner. I believe that everybody has their affinity for their own race. I believe that you're going to have your affinity for your own race, especially if it's the race that you grew up around. Now, it's very possible that you did not grow up around your race, and therefore your affinities or your relations with people might be geared towards the race that you were brought up around. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But most people are brought up in neighborhoods and environments that they're surrounded by their own people. And that being said, they understand their people more and they're drawn more to their own people. Does that make them a negative or a bad person? Absolutely not. Even if they believe that their neighborhood or their people or their culture are better than others, you know. And the reason that I believe that and I feel this way is because if you haven't noticed, I'm sure a lot of other people have noticed, but America is like UK, like Europe. It's turning into a brown world. You know, there are more and more children being born nowadays that you can't tell their racial orientation. You know, their hair is too loose, too bouncy, too soft to be black. Their skin is too dark to be white. You know, their eyes are too slanted not to be Asian. You know, you can't tell between a Mexican and a Chinese baby anymore. You understand what I'm saying to you? So America very soon will become a country in which the people will have their own color, will have their own look, will have their own design, as we used to be a melting pot, you know, and everybody else in the world had their own look, and they'd come here and we just be a complete mix-up. You know, you find some people over here, some people over there. You know, nowadays, America is starting to become a real melting pot where everything in the pot has actually melted into one, and we're gaining our own look. We may look something like the people of France do, you know, or any other type of variation, you know, and I believe that this is being noticed on many, many levels. And I'll just throw this out there, another thought from a rambling mind. Are black men being persecuted, hunted, incarcerated, taken off the streets in order to slow the coloring of America? I mean, I don't know. I'll just leave that with you. All right. Until next time, thoughts of a rambling mind.